Hey, what's going on, guys? Trent from The Road Guy, and welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, I'm bringing you another quarterback situation video. Today, guys, the division we're going to be looking at is the AFC West. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So, we'll start off with the team that won the division last year. We got currently the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, Chad Henne, Chase Litton, and Kyle Shermer. Patrick Mahomes lit up the NFL last year. It'd be really cool to see him become like the next great, quarterback behind you'd say like Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and all these other quarterbacks that were before my time watching NFL. So it'd be really cool to see him do well. He has a good shot at making the MVP this year. The Chiefs should be better. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes is pretty good. But I will say the number one weakness for the Chiefs is going to be their backup situation, because Patrick Mahomes is such a good player that you're never going to replace him with any backup. So you would have had to try to get the best backup, but you really don't have it with these three guys. You have Chad Henne, who's moved around from time to time. I don't really trust this guy to help him get through the rest of the season if Patrick Mahomes went down. So pretty much, if Patrick Mahomes gets injured, it's probably the end of the Chiefs season. But Chad Henne, he was there last year. They re-signed him, or maybe he was on a 2-year extension. Anyway, he's on the team. We also have Chase Litton, who's on the practice squad last year, along with a new guy they got this year, Kyle Shermer, who was Pat Shermer's son from Vanderbilt. Now, I think the main competition, since Chad Henne at least has some experience in the NFL, I think he'll still remain as the backup. I think it's just mainly between Chase Litton and Kyle Shermer. And I kind of like both of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept all of them, although it's probably going to be between Kyle Shermer and Chase Litton, and I think maybe they end up keeping Chase Litton. We'll see. Maybe Kyle Shermer goes to the Giants. I don't know. But that's how I see the quarterback situation moving out. Next, the Los Angeles Chargers. You got Phillip Rivers, Tyrod Taylor, Cardale Jones, and Easton Stick. Phillip Rivers, again, he's a guy that I'm rooting for to get to a Super Bowl at least once, sort of have a John Elway run where he gets a Super Bowl at the end of his career. That'd be really cool to see. I mean, the Chargers do have a really good, they have a full team. They have a team that's capable of winning the Super Bowl. And it all depends on Phillip Rivers staying healthy and if his arm can stay good. There has been a dip in his play as he's gotten older, but we can see what he can do. Behind him, we have Tyrod Taylor. Last year they had Geno Smith in the spot, but then he was only on a 1-year deal, so he's out. Tyrod Taylor's going to be here on a 2-year deal. And I think this is sort of a security blanket / maybe he could be the future type guy. I think if Phillip Rivers, I think he has maybe 2 years in the NFL left, I think. And I think it's about time the Chargers maybe move on if there is a huge dip in his play this year. But Tyrod Taylor, I do like him. I loved him with the Bills. I thought he was a true starter for the team. They just gave up on him too fast. And then he was with the Browns, where he did as well as he could under Hugh Jackson. And then now he's with the Chargers, the backup. A lot of people have said that he's a game manager. Sometimes that's all you can ask for in a quarterback, And I do think that Tyrod Taylor has a good chance if he ends up staying there. Like if Phillip Rivers decides to retire after this year, Tyrod Taylor, I would like to see him become the future of the team. It'd be really cool to see, but obviously can't wait to see him in the preseason. You have Cardale Jones, who's been on the practice squad for this will be his 3rd season on the team. He's been on the practice squad the last 2 years, and I think this is a make or break year for him with the Chargers. It's either, I think they've had him around to possibly develop him into being Phillip Rivers' successor. He was one of those, I think he was part of that trio of Ohio State quarterbacks that were real good. I think it was like him, J.T. Barrett, and Troy Smith, something like that. Anyway, Cardale Jones. Yeah, if he's going to have more competition this year for at the very least the 3rd string spot or the practice squad spot. I think Cardale Jones is going to have to make a big jump this year, because I don't think you're going to do better than Tyrod Taylor unless he gets injured, but you got to do better than the new guy they have, Easton Stick, who I will talk about in a bit. But Cardale Jones, I think this is a make or break preseason. If he ends up not being showing much improvement, he probably gets edged out and gets cut. Now, the guy he's going to be competing with is Easton Stick. And, Easton Stick, the Chargers really liked him. They had him in for a visit, and they were able to draft him. He's from NDSU, North Dakota State University, same place as Carson Wentz. Now, he's probably not going to be a Carson Wentz-type player. It'd be pretty cool if he did. But a lot of people think the Chargers mainly drafted him to become another Taysom Hill-type player, who can do all the different formations, can do the wildcat formation, can run plays, can do this, can do that, everything that Taysom Hill does. But it would be really cool to see Easton Stick in the preseason playing quarterback. I think, honestly, that's what they should focus on first, is see if he can be a good quarterback, if they can beat out Cardell Jones. And if he does, then we're going to have him as a third stringer and then have him do those wildcat formations. I don't think they cut Easton Stick, though, unless he's like really bad in the preseason. But I don't think he's that bad. And so I think by the end of the preseason, it's going to be Rivers, Tyrod, and Easton Stick. I think Cardell Jones gets out. Next, the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos currently have Joe Flacco, Kevin Hogan, Drew Lock, and Brett Ripien, 2 rookies. Joe Flacco, I was rooting for the Broncos to get Nick Foles. I really was, because the Broncos are my second favorite team. Nick Foles is like my favorite quarterback, and it would have been really cool to have those two together. But Joe Flacco, again, I'm rooting for Joe Flacco, actually. It would be really cool. It's like John Elway's trying to do the same thing with like Peyton Manning, where you get a free agent quarterback who's been to a Super Bowl, who's won a Super Bowl, who's been injured, and a lot of people think that he's done. They bring him in. He has maybe like a few good years there, and then you get onto a bunch of rookies who suck, like Trevor Siemian, Brock Osweiler, and all that. That's sort of what they did with Peyton Manning. And Joe Flacco, I don't think Joe Flacco lasts as long as Peyton Manning, especially since you got 2 rookies who I think can be really good for this team. They have Kevin Hogan, who they re-signed. I think Kevin Hogan's a good backup in this league. I think if he ends up getting cut here, I think he will find another spot. I do like Kevin Hogan a lot. And I'm also, again, like I gotta emphasize that I am rooting for Joe Flacco. I do really like Joe Flacco. It's going to be really exciting to see him in a Broncos uniform, because I love the Broncos uniforms. Seeing Joe Flacco in it would be pretty cool. Can he deliver him to the playoffs? We'll see in my predictions video. Drew Lock. I love this pick. I'm glad that they got him in the second round. I truly think that he can be the future of this team. If Joe Flacco does really good, will he sit for a few years? Yeah, it could be possible to see that, but I would really like to see Drew Lock become the future. I think he can be. I think he is like a John Elway type player. He's from Missouri. This is the number 1 place I had him going. I thought this was the best fit, and I can't wait to see him play in the preseason. We're going to get to see the Broncos and the Falcons first, seeing their backup quarterbacks first. It's going to be really interesting to see. And they also got Brett Ripien, who's a Boise State Bronco. So the Bronco became Bronco. He's also the nephew of former Super Bowl winner Mark Ripien from the Redskins. And I really like this because this guy, I like Brett Ripien. I loved the Boise State Broncos. I like Brett Ripien there. He set a lot of good records. I think he broke some of Kellen Moore's records. And I think, again, like it's like someone brought up, like, John Elway, why does he keep drafting the nephews of former NFL quarterbacks? Because they did the same thing with Chad Kelly. Brett Ripien, I think, and this is my official prediction for Brett Ripien. This is the big one. I think Brett Ripien can be this year's Tony Romo. I think he can be that undrafted guy that people overlooked, and then he ends up going somewhere, and he ends up being a future star. I really think he can be. I can't wait to see him in the preseason. If him and Drew Lock end up being like really good in the preseason, it's going to be pretty hard to see them letting one of them go. Because I'm high on Brett Ripien and Drew Lock, I think Kevin Hogan might get edged out, but it would not be a surprise to see Joe Flacco, Drew Lock, and then Kevin Hogan as a third stringer, and maybe Brett Ripien on the practice squad. But I don't know. I'm really high on Brett Ripien. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if it's Drew Lock and then Brett Ripien behind Joe Flacco. But I feel like they would want to have a veteran behind Joe Flacco, or at least as a third stringer, which is why I hope they don't just keep Brett Ripien. Because, like, well, yeah, he was good and he shows promise, but we need to have a veteran in the back. I mean, I think this year for the Broncos, it's really more of a, like, yeah, they want to make the playoffs. But I think it's like, well, if Joe Flacco gets hurt, it's not the end of the world. Let's try out Drew Lock. Let's try out Brett Ripien, see what they can do. And finally, we got the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders have Derek Carr, Mike Glennon, and Nathan Peterman. Derek Carr, I'm really glad that they didn't draft a quarterback this year or trade him. I think Derek Carr, deserves at least one more year with John Gruden and all these new weapons he has. He has Josh Jacobs. He's got some other wide receiver, and he's got Antonio Brown. Give him a chance with this new system. If he ends up sucking, and if he ends up not showing much improvement, or if it's clear that he's the problem and they need a better quarterback, kick him out next year. Will not care. Mike Glennon is backup. He's a solid backup, I think. I think he's like a middle of the road backup. Probably like a really good third stringer, a middle of the road second stringer. and Nathan Peterman, who beat out Landry Jones in the offseason. So John Gruden must think Nathan Peterman is better. I think John Gruden's kind of hoping that Nathan Peterman will be the future of the Raiders. Maybe, like, imagine like all of the memes about Nathan Peterman, that he's the worst quarterback ever in the NFL. Like, how does he have a job and Colin Kaepernick doesn't? And I think maybe he's hoping that, well, maybe Nathan Peterman can be the future. You know, I mean, he's a third stringer. We'll see what he does in the preseason, because we know John Gruden's not afraid about cutting backups, because that's what he did last year with E.J. Manuel and Connor Cook. He cut them and they got A.J. McCarron. So it would not be a surprise if it's just Derek Carr and Mike Glennon on the team. Maybe Nathan Peterman's on the practice squad. I don't know, but it'd be really cool to see if Nathan Peterman make a comeback. I mean, I do like Nathan Peterman. I think he gets too much crap. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's been the quarterback situation for each AFC West team. Next, I'll be doing the NFC West. The Broncos will be the first team that we see in the Hall of Fame, along with the Falcons. We'll get to see their backup quarterbacks. We'll get to see Brett Rypien, Drew Lock, and Kevin Hogan, along with Matt Schaub and Kurt Benkert. So, really excited for the Broncos. I really do think that Brett Rypien can be Tony Romo. I think he can. I mean, I just see it. You know, I feel like, because like Tony Romo, when he first went undrafted, he got offers from the Broncos and the Cowboys. Maybe Brett Rypien gets, after the preseason, he gets offered to be a backup quarterback somewhere else. I mean, it'd be really cool to see Brett Rypien become a success. So yeah, this has been the quarterback situation for each AFC West team. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Trent of the Rogue Island, and I'll see you guys next time.